Hello, everyone. My name is Reniqua Mills. Welcome to our How to Be Dashing indoor series, Quarantine Queens, here at Monument of Faith. I am a licensed cosmetologist coming to you to let you know different tips on hair care in this hard times. I know it can be hard right now since we're indoors and can't get to a salon, so it's kind of like, how am I going to look? You're probably looking like I'm looking right now with this scarf on your head, but of course it still looks nice, still lovely, but when you take it off, it's like, oh, what am I going to do next? So, what I'm going to be doing today is demonstrating just a simple blowout on my own hair. And while I'm doing the blowout, I'm going to be giving you some tips on hair care, talking about hair types, the porosity, density, different types of products you should use on your hair, and just different things about hair. And also let you know that self-health is also great just for while we're right now being quarantined. It's just also great. It's good for the mind, body, and the spirit, just to kind of help. If you look good, then you feel good. That's one of those things that I always say. So what I'm going to do before I get started, of course, I'm going to take the scarf off. Please don't run away from the screen because, yes, it looks very crazy right now. So what I did before I got here, because, of course, I don't have a shampoo bowl with me, I went ahead and shampooed and conditioned my hair previously. The products that I use, and these aren't professional products, of course, but these are products that you can find on a shelf. And I went with these products because, of course, we're quarantined. No one can get to the salon, and we got to use what we can get. So we have what I used today was Garnier Fructis. It's a sleek and shine fortifying shampoo and conditioner. And I shampooed my hair twice with this, conditioned once, let it sit in for about 15 to 20 minutes. Is something I always recommend because my hair type, and I'll get into that also once we get into it. So of course, you see I have on two scarves because with that being said, another tip, this is a cloth scarf, and I didn't want to put this cloth scarf on my wet hair without it because then it will rip it, it'll cause it to break. It's just different things. So I used a silk scarf to go under it first, and then I put my scarf over top of it. It also gives a great foundation for your scarf in different styles, and you can put it to the side, to the back, different ways. So it's different things. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Wow, you can see me now. Yes. So my hair is still a little damp, and I don't like to go in right with the blow drying process with my hair fully wet because it can be more heat damage on your hair. So I like to let it dry a little bit. Of course, I put a couple different moisturizing products, and it's so many different ones out there. I had just used a little leave-in conditioner. It's a whole system with this. So that's what I did. Let that sit in, and while I'm blow drying it, of course, you're not going to be able to hear me talk. So I'm going to say a couple things before I start. And of course, before I start everything else, yes, I had to bring my notes down because I wasn't going to let you see it, but might as well. Hey, my first thing I want to start off is with the scripture. And my scripture is going to come from Romans 12:2. It's do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by renewing of your minds, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Okay, that being said, I'm going to start off with just the oil that I'm going to use. This is going to be my heat protecting, and this is going to be basically an oil, a pre-thing that I'm going to use for my hair. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to just a couple of squirts. It's all you need. I do two because my hair, and we're going to get into hair types, of course, also. There are 4 different hair types. First hair type is straight hair, then you have wavy hair, and then you have curly hair. So there's all different types of hair. And one thing I can say, whether you're fine, thick, long, short, matte, glossy, curly, coily, straight, you deserve respect. Your hair deserves respect is what I should say. So let's get to know your hair curl pattern, its porosity, its density and styling needs, because healthy self-care includes your hair. So that's everything with what you take in. Your hair also can come from different, you know, what you're eating, what's going on at home. So of course, right now everyone's stressed, so your hair could be stressed too. So let's just try to get out of that, show ourselves more, you know, care, and still love ourselves while we're at home in this hard time. So I'm gonna start with just blow drying my hair. So I'm not gonna be talking right now. It might not take a long time. And how I'm gonna blow dry my hair, of course, you can use um, a comb with a pick on it. And my thing with doing a blowout, having a nice blow dryer helps to cut out the heat process with the curling iron. So if you have a good blow dryer that's gonna get out enough wattage that's gonna get it nice and hot, so your hair can be straight from the blow dryer first before you straighten it out with the curling iron, so that way you're not doing as much heat damage. Because some people have their own little things about blowouts. They don't like it. It can mess your curl pattern up. It can do all these different things. But if you're doing the right way, you can still considerably have your curl pattern and it'll be great. So that being said, I'm going to blow dry my hair. I like to use a wet brush, which is great also for detangling curly hair for all types. So you can have the coarsest hair. This wet brush here will go through it. Great for kids also. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and blow dry my hair, get it straight, and then we'll go from there. And it's already basically dry. That's why I like to let it sit for a while before I go right in and blow dry it. So that way I'm not having to, my arms, you know, wearing and tearing about blow drying and everything. So you can section it if you like, but I don't really section. I normally don't look in the mirror. I just kind of wing it, close my eyes and go. Make sure you got it nice and dry, even on your scalp. That way it helps to keep from your hair from frizzing in the humidity. So what I like to do is after I've got it all hot, I like to turn it down to cool. If your blow dryer has a cool setting, you just turn it down to cool and then just kind of go through it. And that way you can kind of get a feel of if your scalp feels still kind of cool, but you know it's still wet. So that way you kind of, and it kind of cooling your hair down and the cuticle itself down all together, which kind of, it's cool air sets your curl, and of course if you want it straight. All right, so I'm gonna tell you why I use these products, of course, for my hair, because my hair type, and that's what we're gonna go into now, is different hair types. Of course, I told you already before that there are 4 different hair types. 1 straight, 2 is wavy hair, 3 is curly hair, 4 is coily hair, which is a little bit thicker. So straight hair, and my hair, I would say, is more of a curly, on the curly side. It's not coily, but it's not wavy. I have more curl pattern, but it's also fine. And with the density and my porosity is I would say my porosity is more not as porous. So I don't want to use too many heavy products, because then it can weigh my hair down, which will cause my blowout to be not a blowout. It'll just kind of be straight. It'll be heavy, and that's where you can go into how you know, like burning your hair. So straight hair, of course, has no natural curl, and I'm going to section my hair now. You can do it however you like, but I like to kind of, wherever I'm going to part it, I like to just go ahead and part my hair, section it off. Normally I always do like 4 sections. Maybe that's just the stylist in me from coming in school. We always had to section our hair, section everything we do. It always starts with some type of formation. So I'm going to section my hair here. Mind you, I already put my products in it when I blow dried it, because I don't want my hair to be weighed down, and me knowing my hair tight, putting too much of something can cause it not to do what you want it to do. I don't know if you understand that, but I know so a lot of people say you need to heat a lot of products to put this on there, that on there, but less is always the best. It's just knowing how to properly do it. So that being said, going on to natural hair, straight hair. Straight hair has a tendency to become oily. You want to check to make sure the product you use doesn't have lots of oils in it. You want to avoid butters and heavy serums, of course. And a thing that I would like to recommend is, of course, you dry shampoos when you have straight hair, because dry shampoos can, it's just a good thing. It can help eliminate oil without having to shampoo it so often. I don't know if you understand that. Some people feel like because their hair is oily, they should shampoo it every day. No one should shampoo their hair every day. You should shampoo it at least, I would say, twice a week for people who have more oily hair. People who doesn't have hair that's not as oily, once every 2 weeks is always recommended. So once every 2 weeks, you want to cleanse everything, get it free of all the debris and everything that you have in it, so that way your hair and your scalp can continue to be healthy, so that it can grow. So that's just one of my things. I'm all about healthy hair. My hair is natural, by the way, so I don't have any chemicals in it, and but once I'm finished, it'll look like I have chemicals in it. So I like to be able to kind of go back and forth with different things. And of course, so too much, like I said, for straight hair, too much of products and too much of something can cause it to weigh it down even more. It'll produce more oils, which make you feel like you have to shampoo it more often. And so styles for straight hair, I would say blunt cut, face shape styles are more things that you want to go in for the straight hair. And that's something that's one of my recommendations. And then we're going to go into wavy hair. So wavy hair is gentle, it's tousled, and it's textured. No oil-based or creamy products. You want to use a light serum in your hair or a light mousse to define the wave. You also want to use a diffuser when it comes to drying your hair. It really helps to take the moisture out, and less touching also keeps it from being so frizzy. The style, you want to try not to straighten your hair as much when you have wavy hair, because of course it can cause you to lose your wave pattern. And if you use mousse, you want to make sure you're using mousse that has humidity resistant ingredients in it. That way it can keep you from frizzing and, going, just having big hair. The next type we're going to go through is wavy hair. Wavy hair is S-shaped curls, which can be in all different types. You can go from loose, it's kind of like a loose loop. Brushing this type leads to frizz. So you most definitely don't want to brush this hair as much, because it can cause it to become coily looking, I should say, rather than wavy, or I should say curly. So curly is you want to make sure you have your hair in a loose ponytail and not so tight. Of course, when you have curly hair, you tend to pull it back more often because it's so big. You don't know what to do with it. You feel like, oh man, it's gonna frizz really quickly, and as soon as you do what you're gonna do, you use it, step outside, and it's big again. So guess what? We pull it back in a ponytail. But sometimes pulling it back in a ponytail, that's what can cause hair loss. A lot of people may not know that, but when you pull your hair back in ponytails, it can cause your hair to break because of the weight of the ponytail pulls against the front of your hair for a prolonged period of time. So you start to see the breakage around everywhere else, and it just kind of goes from there. You want to avoid silicone products and sulfate because it tames frizz temporarily, but not breakage over time. So you want to make sure that you're using products that's going to help frizz. Use leave-in conditioners, and when you put it in, you want to make sure you use your fingertips. So no brushing with curly hair. You want to use your fingertips, kind of use your hands. You don't want to keep putting your hands in it after you apply the product once. Put it in there, let it air dry. Once it dry, then you can go back in and kind of poof it up and do a little bit things, but try to keep your hands out of your hair when you have curly hair. Because your hands, of course, are full of everything, and when you put it in your hair, now it's in your hair, and it can cause it to do all different types of things. So that's my one thing. Of course, what I'm doing now, I'm going through and I'm just going to just straighten it. I like to go through and just straighten it really well, and I like to do what you call the chase method, which you take the comb and put it in, and you're going to go through really slowly. That's what's going to kind of give you that nice straight consistency and good flow. Of course, right now it doesn't look like it's straight or have any style in it, but just getting it straight first. I like to straighten it all out first, and then I'll go back in and show you a trick. So that being said, we're going to move on to coily hair. Coily hair is S-shaped curls, of course, but you can wrap them around a chopstick, which means it'll just coil. A lot of people say coarse, or you have other words for that, but we try not to use those in the professional field, and we're going to say it's coily hair, which is also great hair too. You can have the same desired look that any of the other 4 types of hair could use also. So it's the most delicate hair type. You have to be gentle with coarse and coily hair. It needs moisture, lots of moisture. So you want to use more deep conditioners, masks, butters, and creams, not oil, because oil is not going to do anything but just lay over your hair strand. It's not going to really get down and penetrate it. So you want something that's kind of heavy, wet, something that's going to open the cuticle and make sure everything goes down in it, which is like masks, butters, and creams. Oil is also great, but it's good to use when your hair is wet. So that way your hair cuticle can accept the oil that you're doing, because if not, it's just going to be like mixing oil and water, and you know that doesn't work out right. So the style with coily hair, you want to make sure you're doing loose styles, like wash and goes and different things like that. Of course, most people who have coily hair tend not to wear their hair because they don't like it. It takes so much time. It does so, it's kind of, it's never in place. It feels like it gets even bigger, when you're doing different things. So a lot of people try to cover it up when I think it's the best hair. Trust me, I wish I had coarse, coily hair because I would be able to do whatever I wanted to it, and it would be great. It's just great hair. So I don't recommend protective styles. So with that being said, like styles that you're going to keep in for weeks at a time. With coily hair, you want to make sure, like I said, you're shampooing it at least once every 2 weeks. I know it can be hard because you have to style it yourself, and right now this time it's a lot of hair, a lot of things to do with it, and you just don't know what's going on. But like I say, just try to find different products and different masks that's going to really work. Do deep conditioners, which means deep conditioning meaning after you shampoo your hair, you condition it. You might not have a sit up on a hood dryer, but you can just take and put a bag over your head or plastic cap, and then walk around the house for at least 45 minutes to an hour, and let your body heat kind of warm up and open up your cuticles while the butters and the creams and conditioners are penetrating through your cuticle. Also, another good product for coily hair, I would say, is co-washing. Co-washing, I'm sure you guys heard a lot about that now since natural hair is really in. Co-washing is works really well for really any type of hair, because you're not taking all of your natural hair moisture out. Now, unless you've done like a style that calls a lot of products like twist outs and braid outs, that's gonna cause you to tend to have to use more products. Oh, lost the earring. But then you want to go in and really cleanse your hair and clarify it with a clarifying shampoo. That way you're making sure you're, once again, keeping your hair and your scalp clean, so that way it can grow and stay healthy. So I'm just gonna continue to straighten my hair. Yeah, this might take you a little longer than it's taking me, but trust me, it's worth it. It's so worth it. All right, so what I'm going to get into next is your hair porosity. Of course, your hair porosity means the ability to soak up moisture, which is what I'm talking about when it comes to certain products. So that's where you have to figure out what your hair porosity is. And of course, I'm sure you all seen on YouTube and different videos, they have hair porosity test. And the hair porosity test is, you can take maybe even, our hair sheds every day. Of course, if you see a strand that's sitting around the house somewhere, you can use that strand, or if you want to, pull the strand out of your hair. Might hurt a little bit, but hey. Pull the strand out and lay a few strands in a bowl of water. You're gonna let it sit for a few minutes, and if your hair floats, then it tends to have low porosity. If your hair sinks to the bottom, then it has high porosity. High porosity means you have lots of moisture. Low porosity means you don't have as much moisture going into it. So it's the ability of how much moisture can penetrate your cuticle. And that's where you're going to determine what type of products to use, what styles you should go about doing with your hair, and so forth and so on. Another thing I talked about was your density. Of course, with these times now, we have a lot of hair loss and just different things, and that can kind of come in from a lot of things. It can stem from menopause, it can stem from pregnancy, you can go into a number of things. It's just so many things that you can kind of see how your density changed over time, from when you were a baby, of course, to wherever you are now. I know a lot of people used to be like, man, my hair was so good when I was this age. What was I doing, or what was it? You have to look at what's going on in your life. Are you stressing? Menopause, your nutrition is a big factor in your hair. So what you eat is what you are, which I'm sure a lot of people say that. So what you eat, how you're taking care of yourself, can kind of have an effect on your hair care also. I'm going to continue to just go through and straighten my hair, get it all nice and straight first, and then I'm going to go through with styling. Again, if you have any questions on hair and what your hair type is, and what type of hair products you should use, feel free to inbox me, email me, whatever you need, and I will give you my information at the end of this video here. Just gonna go in and continue to do my hair, because I ran my mouth so much that I don't think I was working as quickly as I normally do. But almost done with this top part. And again, I don't like using small sections. I just go in with normal size sections, and then just take the key to it is just taking the flat iron and going slow, not rushing, we don't want to do one of these numbers right here. That can cause damage on your hair strand by continue to pulling. And another thing that I didn't say is the temperature on your irons. You don't want it to be higher. I would say a 410. When you get really hot, depending on your hair texture and your hair type, that's when you can come with heat damage and you can cause a lot of different breakage and just different things. These irons here, they are just a little Remingtons. They're cheap iron I got from Walmart. It goes to 410. That's the highest it go. And I like it because it's not going to cause heat damage on my hair. If I want to go back to my wavy styles, I can. And if I also just want to straighten it out, this is a great one to use. I like titanium plates because it gives you a smoother finish, nicer look, and it doesn't pull your hair strands while you're doing your hair. So this does have a titanium finish with this iron, but it's a ceramic plate. So I'm almost done here. So now that I have it straight, all straightened out, blowing out, yeah. Now I'm going to go through and give some curl and style it a little bit. Go back to my sections. Once again, yeah, it might look like I'm doing a lot of heat on it, but it's not really much as you would think. And now I'm just going to go and do big curls all over it. This is just going to give my body, it's going to give me a style that I like. And after I do this one time, I don't curl my hair or put heat in my hair probably for the whole week. I try to wait at least a week before I do put more heat on it, unless I've just cleaned up, worked out, sweated so much that, and I have to be somewhere, then I have to put a little heat to it. But then I feel really bad because I'm like, geez, I just put heat on my hair yesterday, but I still want to look good, of course. So, kind of big C shapes. I just kind of not really going as small sections as I did the first time. And of course, it's also because I need my ends trimmed, of course, because I've been quarantined too and haven't had a chance to do that. So giving it a nice curl and a C shape can kind of hide those flyaways and those uneven ends. So I just like to do a nice curl here. I've probably missed some pieces, but it's gonna all blend well. I'm one to change my hair a lot. I like to do different things and try different styles. So this is my go-to when I know I have to do it myself, and as time I don't have a lot of time on my hands, I should say. I just say, hey, I could just do a simple blowout. This will last that 2 weeks that I was telling you, so that way I don't have to shampoo my hair again. 2 weeks, and shampooing it again, whether it needs to be or not, just so I can make sure that I'm keeping healthy hair, which makes me feel great. So you're going to want to find your hair mate, which that being said, which everyone has hair journeys. Everyone has these days where we wake up and we're looking at ourselves in the mirror and we're like, oh gosh, what are we going to do next? What should I do? What do I need to have? What do I need to buy? So before you go out and buy all these products and have them just sitting underneath the cabinet for no reason, because once you use it once, you feel like it didn't do right. You have to also use it consistently. You want to do it at least for a week or two to see if your hair is going to accept it or not. The same thing like medicine. They would tell you to take it for a certain period of time. You want to use that product for a certain period of time also, so that way you can see if it's actually working or not. So I always recommend or ask people to, since we are in home now and we're probably on our phones and on social media a lot, you can find, if you want to, just go online, look on social media, maybe even a YouTube page or different things. Since we're on YouTube right now, you can go and look up just whatever you think your hair type is, I want you to go on social media and find someone with your same hair type and give them some, just go and look at what they have going on, and they'll give you some feedback on what products, what styles, just different things before you're blindsided going in a beauty salon or a beauty supply store looking for products that's for coily hair. Of course, it's not going to say coily hair, so you got to kind of do your research and figure out what products your hair needs. So following somebody on social media that have your hair type can help you a lot, and it'll help you save a lot of money. So that way you're not just going out spending money. They'll give you great tips, and it's just fun to sit and watch. I don't know about you, but for me, it's fun to sit and watch other people do hair and make themselves look and feel pretty. Like I say, self-care can be very great for the mind, body, and soul, and spirit. It's always great. So, right now, I am done. I'm going to finish my hair off with just a little oil sheen, which any type. I like Design Essentials. This is it. And before I style it all out, I just take it for a wrap. I'm going to wrap it up. Wrap it around, kind of loosen my curls that I just put in, because I don't want the tight curls, but I want it to have some type of body. Take a wide tooth comb or whatever you like. Comb it down. Your wrap doesn't have to be perfect. I know as a stylist, I see a lot of people that say, I can't wrap my hair. I don't know how to do it. As long as my thing, what I say, put your hand in the middle of your head and then wrap everything else in a circle, it's wrapped and you're fine. Everything's good. So just comb it down. Same way you put it in, it's the same way you're gonna comb it down. Comb it down, and I like to just style different things. As you see, my part is right there where I want it to be. And I like to put a little swoop here. Of course, everybody is in with the edges, and I'm not gonna have my edges this poofy, so what I'm gonna use is what's called a My Gel. This is a great product. I like this product a lot for a lot of styles. So with curl outs, I would like it with twist outs. If you're just doing maybe ponytails for your kids, I use this on natural for locks. I like to use it when I do my locks. It works really well. So, and it's a conditioning, it thickens, and it nourishes your hair while stimulating the roots. It's called My Gel by Joey Products. You can't really find it in stores. You have to order it offline. But if you need it, just let me know, and I can get it for you. But a little bit goes a long way. So as you're going to see, I'm going to just use a little bit just to kind of slick my little edge down to give me a nice, edges is in. I'm sure a lot of you parents out there have bought your kids these edge brushes because they're just swooping and doing the edges. Edges just makes the hairdo, as you can see. Just makes it look really great. Put my little curl that we're all doing right now. Just gives it a great set. And this is my blowout. So this is it. This is how I go about doing my hair while I'm at home. So if I'm walking around, even though I'm in the house, I can feel it moving and shaking. It feels great. Looks great. I feel great, and everything's great. So if you would like to keep in contact with me, I am on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow me at _recreations. Recreations is spelled R-E-E with 2 E's. Creations, still the same way with an S on the end. You can also go on Facebook. I have the same name. It's called Recreations on there. And also, before I go, I want to invite you all to come and visit our church here, Monument of Faith. We're located in Durham, over off Grant Street. Also, we have a service every Sunday morning over right here on YouTube, and it's just type in MOF Live Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. You'll get it. It's awesome. It's always great. So I want to thank you all for coming, and this is our series on how to be dashing indoors.